So let's begin by offering our respects to ISKCON founder Acharya and our preeminent Shiksha Guru, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataru Vyascha Kripa Sindhu Vya Evacha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Okay, so we welcome all of you to our weekly Bhagavad Gita classes. We have with us here Dipti Adnani, Auntie Neeta, Ranjit Das, Aja, Ayush, Isha Melwani, Divya, Durga Prasad, Karuna Jadwani, Kirti. Then we have Manju, N.C. Venkachari. My parents are there. Then we have Ritu Lalwani. We have Suhani, Upasna, Varsha. Yes, I think I've mentioned all the names. Okay, so in the previous class, we finished with chapter number 10, titled The Opulence of the Absolute. So here, we saw Krishna describing his opulences, no? And he said that upon Arjuna's request, he describes his opulences. And he concludes by saying that with a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. So when Krishna makes this statement, Arjuna makes a request asking, how is it No, he wants to see that form of Krishna. How is it that he is pervading and supporting this entire universe? So this is what is chapter 11, when Krishna shows how he does what he has said here in the previous chapter. So Krishna not only talks, he actually walks the talk. See, in the there are many people, bogus people, who claim that they are God. But nobody has actually shown the universal form. Krishna said that he is God. So one may say, but there are so many people who claim that they are God. But then how many of them can show the universal form? So Krishna not only talks, but he walks the talk. He shows. So what he spoke in chapter 10, he visually displays in chapter 11. And he does so upon Arjuna's request. See, Krishna is not interested in proving himself to those who are not faithful. The reason why Krishna showed the universal form, or the reason why Krishna spoke about his opulences, is because Arjuna requested. Principally, of course, there are other reasons which we have discussed previously, but the principal reason is he wants to do it because Arjuna has requested it. Krishna complies always with the with the desires of the devotees. Now, on Wednesday, at least in this part of the world, I don't know when it is in India, maybe a day before or later, or maybe on the same day, I don't know. But on Wednesday here, we are celebrating the appearance day of Lord Nrsimhadev. And as I was reading about the pastimes of Nrsimhadev from the Bhagavatam, there is this section where it is said that now, because Prahlad told his father that yes, the Lord exists even in this pillar, no? Because Hiranyakashipu was telling him, your Lord exists everywhere. So he said, yes, he exists here, he exists there, he exists everywhere. Does he exist also in this pillar? So then Prahlad, with all faith, he said, yes, he also does exist in the pillar. So when Hiranyakashipu broke that pillar, the Lord actually appeared from that pillar so that Prahlad's words are not false. No. So here also we can see how upon Arjuna's request, Krishna is showing his universal form. So this chapter 11 is titled The Universal Form, and it begins with Arjuna speaking. The first two verses, Arjuna is requesting Krishna to show his universal form, show that form by which he is pervading this entire universe. And then Krishna complies the request. This is the third longest chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. It has a total of 55 shlokas. Who can read today? Somebody who has not read before? Any volunteers? Okay, Kirti Lata. Thank you. One second, let me. So as we discussed, this is titled The Universal Form and it has a total of 55 shlokas. But before we begin the chapter, we need to see what is the benefit or the falashruti of reading, reciting, learning, hearing this particular chapter. So we know that these are histories. These glorifications are given by Lord Shiva to Goddess Parvati in a book called Gita Mahatmya, which is a part of the Padma Purana. And in each chapter of the Gita Mahatmya, Lord Shiva is glorifying that particular chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So Lord Shiva tells Parvati that it is not possible to relate all glories of the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And he says that there are thousands of stories, but I will relate one only. So he says that on the banks of Pranita River, in the town called Megankara, in the temple of Jagatishwara, there was a Brahmana called Sunanda, who was a Naishtika Brahmachari. Who is a Naishtika Brahmachari? Anybody knows? How many kinds of brahmacharis are there?
Who's born brahmachari?
Yes, he remains a celibate all his life. And the other kind of brahmachari is one who? If one remains a celibate all his life, the other one?
He remains brahmachari for some time and then enters to grihastha ashram.
Yes, exactly. He takes to Grihastha ashram. Okay, very nice. Thank you. So this particular Brahmana, Sunanda, he was a Naishtika brahmachari. And he used to sit in front of the Lord and daily recite the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita every day. And like that, he would constantly remember the universal form of the Lord. And like this, he was able to control his senses. Then it is described that once he went on a tour and he visited holy places on the banks of the Godavari river. And as he was touring, he reached a town called Vivian Mandela. He was with other devotee friends there, many of them, and they all stayed at night in a dharmashala. But in the morning when he woke up, he was not able to trace any of his associates who had come with him there and who were there with him in the dharmashala. So he went searching and asking about them to the headman of the town. Now that headman, immediately he fell at his feet and said that, I don't know where your associates are, but I can say that there is no devotee who is equal to you or who is as pure as you. I beg of you to please stay in this town for some more time. So Sunanda stayed there for 8 days and the headman made all the arrangements for his comfortable stay. After 8 days, a villager came to Sunanda and cried and said to him that my son has been eaten by a Rakshasa last night. So Sunanda asked, where is this Rakshasa? And then he goes on, that villager, he goes on to narrate the story of that Rakshasa. So the villager is saying that the Rakshasa before, he used to indiscriminately eat the residents of the town. So the villagers, they approached him and requested him that please do not eat indiscriminately. We will provide you with your food. So they reached a compromise and they told him that your food will come in the form of all those who stay in the dharmashala. So all the residents of that dharmashala, they would be the food of that demon. Which dharmashala? The same dharmashala where Sunanda stayed with his associates. So what does that mean? That the visitors who were not uh, the visitors of the village, they were the food of that Rakshasa, but the local villagers, those who stayed there, those who resided there, they were protected. So this was an understanding that was reached between the Rakshasa and the demon. Then the villager goes on to explain that last night my son's friend had come as a visitor and he asked me where can I stay, and I sent him to stay in the Dharmashala, not knowing that he's my son's friend. So when my son came to know, he ran to the Dharmashala to protect his friends, and then the Rakshasa ate my son also. So the villager went to the Rakshasa and said, please return my son. He is not of this Dharmashala. he's a resident of the village. So that time the Rakshasa said, I can return only when I am free from this Rakshasa body. Okay, how can you be free from the Rakshasa body? He says that I can be freed only by a devotee who daily recites chapter 11 of the Bhagavad Gita and who can recite chapter 11 of the Bhagavad Gita 7 times. Now, and after reciting, he has to sprinkle water on me, the demon says. So the villager said, oh yes, there's such a person is there in our town. So Sunanda then asks the villager, what did he do that he got this Rakshasa body? What did this Rakshasa do that he got this, that he is in this condition? So the villager then goes on to narrate another story. He says, long ago, a farmer lived here. And when he was working on his field, a vulture attacked a person who was walking by that field. Now a yogi saw this and he rushed to help him, but he died. Who died? The one who was being attacked. He died. So now the yogi cursed the farmer, saying that you will become a Rakshasa in this next life. Why? Because you did not help this man. He was walking by, you were walking on the field, he was walking by your field, you saw what was happening, but you did not rush to go and save him. So therefore, he curses him that you will become a Rakshasa in the next life. The farmer then apologized and said that he was very, very tired working all night. And so he didn't have the energy to run and to save him. So the yogi then says, okay, when someone who daily recites chapter 11 of the Bhagavad Gita sprinkles water on your head, you will be released from the curse. So now Sunanda went to the place of the Rakshasa and he did the needful. The Rakshasa attained a four-armed Vishnu form along with all the thousands of people whom he had eaten. They all boarded the Vaikuntha plain. So the Rakshasa, along with all the people he had eaten, they all had this four-handed Vishnu form and they all boarded the Vaikuntha plain. Then the villager asked, but which of these is my son? Because he wanted that his son is saved. So he is asking now, which of these thousands of people is my son? And then the Rakshasa, who is now in the four-handed Vishnu form, he points out to one of them and he says that this particular one is your son. So then he tells his son that let's go home. You come with me. Where are you going? But then the son said that I am now going to my real home, no, my original home from where I came. I am going to my real home. Thanks to Sunanda, I am released from this cycle of birth and death. So the son is not interested in going with his father. The son is interested in going back to his real father, original father. Then the son says that many times I was born as your son and you as mine. So in the cycle of birth and death, one may be one son in one lifetime. Maybe the next lifetime the roles are reversed. No. So he says many times I was born as your son and many times you were born as mine. But now it is better that you surrender. No. So he says you please surrender to Sunanda and learn from him chapter 11 of the Bhagavad Gita. Only by hearing and reciting this discourse between Krishna and Arjuna can one break the tight knot which is binding us to the wheel of birth and death. So after all this conversation, everybody went to Vaikuntha. The father did what the son said, and the father also went to Vaikuntha. So to conclude here, Lord Shiva said, after speaking those words full of wisdom to his father, along with all those other fortunate souls, he went to Vaikuntha and his father learned the 11th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita from Sunanda, and very soon they also went to Vaikuntha. My dear Parvati, you have heard the glories of the 11th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, which is capable of destroying all sinful reactions. So this is the Falashruti of chapter number 11. What is the connection between chapter 11 and chapter 10? We have already discussed. When Krishna said that with a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support the entire universe, Arjuna wishes to see that all-pervasive form of the Lord. See, Krishna is driving Arjuna's chariot. He pervades and supports entire universe. So here on one side, Arjuna is saying that Krishna is right here. He is sitting on the chariot. He is driving my chariot. And at the same time, he is pervading and supporting the entire universe. So Arjuna therefore wishes to see Krishna's all-pervading form. Thus, after two introductory verses, Arjuna requests Krishna to reveal his universal form. So there are, we can divide this chapter into 7 sections and we will see them as we proceed. But if you see here, upon Arjuna's request, first comes Krishna's description of his universal form. So before Krishna actually reveals his universal form, Krishna describes it to Arjuna. No? So this description is even before Arjuna can see it. So Krishna is giving him a preview of what is coming up. So you see Krishna's description of the universal form. Then Sanjaya describes to Dhritarashtra what is it that Arjuna is seeing. So we see Sanjaya's description of the universal form. And then we see Arjuna himself describes what is it that he is seeing in that universal form. So there are 3 descriptions of that universal form. So this triple description of the universal form helps us appreciate its vision even better. This is the reason why there are 3 different angles of vision of the same universal form that are described in this chapter, so that we can appreciate it better. Okay, so section 1, we say Arjuna's request. Let us hear the shloka.
अथैकादशोऽध्यायः अर्जुन उवाच मदनुग्रहाय परमम् गुह्यमध्यात्मसंज्ञितम् यत्त्वयोक्तं वचस्तेन मोहोऽयं विगतो मम।
Can I read, Mataji?
No, we already had someone who said she will read.
Okay.
Yes, Mataji. Translation: Arjuna said, by my hearing the instructions you have kindly given me about these most confidential spiritual subjects, my illusion has now been dispelled.
So what is Arjuna saying? First of all, he is acknowledging what Krishna has said before. What did Krishna say before? When he started to describe when Krishna started to describe his opulences in the previous chapter, Krishna told him that I am speaking these opulences for your benefit. So now has Arjuna benefited? Arjuna is saying, yes, I have benefited, because he's saying that my illusion has now been dispelled. By hearing the instructions, my illusion has now been dispelled. So Arjuna, yes, has benefited by hearing about the opulences of Krishna. What is the illusion that has been dispelled? The illusion that Krishna is an ordinary human being. Although it appears Krishna is in the two-handed form, he appears to be an ordinary human being. Krishna is pulling the chariot. But still, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Arjuna is saying that my illusion has now been dispelled because he has heard the opulences of Krishna. He has heard how everything is coming from Krishna. So what is he saying? By my hearing the instructions you have kindly given me about these most confidential spiritual matters, my illusion has now been dispelled. So this is the effect of hearing about the opulences of Krishna. Let's see what Arjuna says next.
भवाप्ययौ हि भूतानां श्रुतौ विस्तरशो मया त्वत्तः कमलपत्राक्ष माहात्म्यमपि चाव्ययम्।
Translation: O lotus-eyed one, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity, and have realized your inexhaustible glories.
By what name is Krishna being referred to by Arjuna in this verse?
Lotus-eyed.
Lotus-eyed one. What name is that?
Kamala Patraksha.
Kamala Patraksha, no? So it's a very, very loving way to address the Lord. Oh, lotus-eyed one. Previously, Arjuna has referred to Krishna by names like Madhusudana, Arisudana, especially when he saw the opulences. Then he said that you are Param Brahma, Adi Devam, Param Dhama, Keshava. So like that, when Krishna was displaying his opulences, Arjuna was referring to him by these other names. But now he's telling him that you are lotus-eyed. So it's a very, very loving way by which Arjuna is addressing the Lord. So what does he say? Oh, lotus-eyed one, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity. So he has heard about how the living entities are coming from Krishna, and even destruction is taking place because of Krishna. And then he also acknowledges that, yes, your glories are inexhaustible, avyayam. No? Because Krishna said that my glories are unlimited, inexhaustible. So he said, I will give you I will only describe the more prominent opulences. So yes, Arjuna now is acknowledging that, yes, your glories are avyayam, your glories are inexhaustible.
एवमेतद्यथाथत्वम् आत्मानं परमेश्वर द्रष्टुमिच्छामि ते रूपम् ऐश्वरं पुरुषोत्तम।
Translation: O greatest of all personalities, O Supreme Form, though I see you here before me in your actual position, as you have described yourself, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours.
So here comes Arjuna's request. He's saying that I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. How is it that you are pervading the entire universe? By what name is Arjuna referring to Krishna here?
Paramaishwara.
Parameshwara, no? Parameshwara, Parama Ishvara, or Supreme Lord. And one more name?
Purushottama.
Purushottama, best of the personalities. Okay, so what is he saying? Though I see you here before me in your actual position, which is the actual position that Arjuna is saying? He is saying that that Krishna is here sitting on a chariot, driving my chariot. And then he says, I wish to see also, how is it that you are pervading? How is it that you have entered into this cosmic manifestation? I have seen that form of yours. So why do you think Arjuna requests Krishna to show his universal form? What could be the reasons?
Because Arjuna was inquisitive and want to know the Lord completely.
Okay. Does Arjuna not know already?
You want to show to the world. Krishna
He wants to show to the world. Why?
To convince others.
To convince others. Yes, to establish Krishna's divinity for all. And to convince others, although he does not have any personal desire and is completely satisfied to see him in his personal form of Krishna. So Arjuna is completely satisfied seeing Krishna in his original form, in his personal form. Krishna originally, his original form is a two-handed form. So Lord here is addressed as Purushottama, implying that Lord, as Supreme Personality of Godhead, knows the heart of Arjuna. He knows that there is no personal desire to see. So Arjuna is saying that you are Purushottama, you know my heart. It's not that I am not satisfied with what I am seeing. It's just that I want to establish your divinity for everyone. Because in the future, there will be many people who would read this and say, but there are others also who claim to be God. So Krishna is one amongst the several who claim that he is God. So what is the difference, right? So the difference is Krishna showed the universal form. The others cannot show the universal form. Anybody who claims that he is God should be able to show the universal form. 3, to avoid imposters. Wants to set a criteria for in the future there will be so many imposters who will pose as incarnations of God. This we already discussed. Then Arjuna, as a responsibility, wants to substantiate Krishna's statement so that in the future people can understand that Krishna not only theoretically or philosophically, but actually presented himself as such to Arjuna. So Arjuna fulfills his responsibility because he is the beginning of the parampara. So Arjuna is the beginning because remember Krishna re-spoke the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. So it is his responsibility to substantiate Krishna's statement so that in the future, people know that Krishna not only talks, but he actually walks the talk. Let's go to 4.
मन्यसे यदि तच्छक्यम् मया द्रष्टुमिति प्रभो योगेश्वर ततो मे त्वम् दर्शयात्मानमव्ययम्.
Translation: If you think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that unlimited universal self.
So see, how is it Arjuna is requesting? He is saying that if you think I am able to behold your cosmic form. So in other words, he's saying that if you think that I can see it, if you think that I am qualified enough, then you can kindly show me that unlimited universal form. By what name is Krishna being referred to here in this verse?
Yogeshwara.
Yogeshwara. What does that name mean?
Lord of all mystic power.
Lord of all mystic power. So see, Krishna is Yogeshwar, no? He's the master of all the mystic power. So he can display any form at any time, any place. He does not have to depend on anything else, no? Krishna is Yogeshwar because so therefore he can even there right in the middle of the battlefield, he can display his universal form. Therefore, Arjuna is saying that you are Yogeshwar. See, and coming to the humility of Arjuna, he's saying that if you think that I'm able to behold your cosmic form, oh my Lord. So you can see how Arjuna is humble. Humility begs and waits. No, you wait and see. Okay, am I qualified? You see what is the Lord saying? Are you qualified or you're not qualified? So you beg and you wait to see what is the response. Pride demands and blames. When somebody has a huge ego, one will demand, okay, you have to respect me. You have to give me a donation. I have done this for you. What have you done for me? No, like that. So pride demands and blames, while humility begs and waits. Arjuna teaches us how we have to be humble. So Arjuna is saying that if you think that I'm qualified, if I'm able to behold your cosmic form, then you please show me that unlimited universal self. So Krishna does not have to display his universal form to anyone and everyone who wants to see it. No, one needs to have the qualification. One has to be humble. One has to be surrendered. One has to be a devotee. Because Arjuna fulfills all the qualifications, therefore Krishna fulfills Arjuna's request. So now we come to section 2, where Krishna describes his universal form to Arjuna.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha Pashya me partha rupani Shatashodha sahasrashah Nana vidhani divyani Nana varna kritini cha.
Translation: The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, O son of Pritha, see now my opulences, hundreds of thousands of varied divine and multicolored forms.
So Krishna is giving a sneak peek. No, he's preparing Arjuna before he actually shows him the universal form. He's preparing Arjuna as to what is it that he's going to see. No, what can he expect to see? So Krishna is saying that, my dear Arjuna, O son of Pritha, see now my opulences. What are these opulences? Hundreds of thousands of varied, divine, and multicolored forms. So hundreds of thousands. So the word shatak means hundreds and sahasra means thousands. So hundreds and thousands of what? There is variety, no? Nana vidhani. Nana means different types. So many varieties are there. So Krishna is saying that you will see hundreds of thousands of varied, divine, and multicolored forms. Now, is a devotee actually interested to see these varieties of multicolored forms? Is a devotee actually interested to see this?
Yes, of course. He'll come to know God.
But doesn't a devotee already know God?
It's not
He knows
necessary.
it, but
Yes.
he'll come to know more. He'll be more interested in knowing about Krishna or God.
Okay, which is the more superior form of the Lord, the two-handed form or the universal form?
Universal form. Two-handed form.
Two-handed form. Two-handed form. Why?
Mataji, I feel the devotee loves to more serve the Lord than more understanding of him, because in Vrindavan also the devotees are very simple-hearted. They didn't know what was Krishna, but they were always constantly having exchanges with him, loving exchanges.
Yes, we discussed, no? Correct. See, we discussed previously that there are two aspects. One is the opulence and one is the sweetness. When Krishna is showing the universal form, which aspect is being displayed?
Opulence.
Opulence. And when Krishna is in his two-handed form,
It's
which is
sweetness.
Which is more prominent? The sweetness, isn't it? So as Kirtilata said that in Vrindavan, the devotees are seeing the two-handed form of Krishna. And they are having these loving transcendental pastimes, and there is more intimacy. There is more intimacy in that relationship. Okay. So a devotee is not interested in seeing this universal form. This universal form, Krishna is not existing in this universal form anywhere, neither in the spiritual world nor in the material world. This was a temporary manifestation on the spot that Krishna exhibited upon Arjuna's request. But actually, Krishna in this universal form, he's not residing in Goloka or Vaikuntha or any other part of the universe. So Srila Prabhupada explains that a devotee is not interested in seeing this universal form. Neither is Krishna interested in displaying this universal form to his devotees. Krishna does not. That's not what Krishna wants. But here, because Arjuna has requested, and Arjuna has requested this for the future generations, therefore Krishna is displaying. But actually, a pure devotee is not interested in seeing this universal form. Neither is Krishna interested in displaying this universal form to his devotee. For Arjuna, actually, it's a downgrade to see that universal form. It's a downgrade because he was seeing Krishna in the two-handed form, which is the superior form of Krishna. Let's go to the next.
पश्यादित्यान् वसून् रुद्रान् अश्विनौ मरुतस्तथा बहून्यदृष्टपूर्वाणि पश्याश्चर्याणि भारत.
Translation: O best of the Bharatas, see here the different manifestations of Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini Kumaras, and all the other demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard of before.
So here Krishna is describing to Arjuna, what are you going to see in this universe? You are seeing the who is who of the whole universe. No? So Krishna is telling Arjuna that you will see in this the Adityas, the Vasus, the Rudras, the Ashwini Kumars, and all the other Devatas. Adityas are the sons of, we did this. Aditi, yes. Adityas are the sons of Aditi. Then we have the 8 Vasus, which we described in the previous class. We saw how one of the Vasus was cursed, and then he came as Bhishma Dev. And then we have the 11 Rudras, and then we have the Ashwini Kumars. The Ashwini Kumars, where do the Ashwini Kumars come in the Mahabharata?
They are the father of Nakul Sahadev.
Yes, exactly. So here Krishna is telling Arjuna that you will see the Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini Kumars, and all the other demigods. So he's saying, behold the many wonderful things. So he's saying, Pashya Ashcharyani. It was going to be very, very wonderful. So he's saying you will see all these wonderful things. And then he says that this thing actually one has never seen or heard of before. So what Krishna is going to display now has never been seen before, has never been heard of before. Adrishta Purvani. Adrishta Purvani means before, this has never been seen. Now, has Krishna shown universal form before? Yes or no?
Yes, to Manu.
To Manu?
Yeah.
In the assembly where Krishna was
No,
at
no, no,
Aman
no.
Shantidut that time.
To his mother, Yashoda.
Yes, Krishna has shown the universal form to his mother Yashoda. How many
Yeah.
times?
Twice.
Twice. When do you remember more details?
When she saw that his mouth was dirty, and she went to check, and then she saw the universal form, and she was surprised. And the other one I don't remember properly.
Okay, so one was when Krishna said that he has not eaten mud, and then and Yashoda said, "No, open your mouth. I want to see you have eaten mud." And the time Krishna opens his mouth, and then Yashoda she sees the entire cosmic manifestation in Krishna's mouth. So that was one universal form. Another time Yashoda saw the universal form was when she gave Krishna her milk, and then she was cleaning his mouth, and then in his mouth again Yashoda saw the entire cosmic manifestation. And then, as Kirti Lata said, when Krishna went as a peace messenger to Hastinapur, at that time, Duryodhan wanted to capture Krishna. So then Krishna showed a universal form. So he has shown the universal form at least thrice as to what we have in our records. But here Krishna is saying that universal form no one has ever seen or heard of before. So there is something in this universal form that Krishna has displayed that was not displayed in the previous three universal forms. Okay, so what is that extra factor in this universal form that we will see as we proceed? So here we have the details. When Yashoda saw the whole universe within the mouth of her child. So this is another incident when Yashoda saw the universal form. You can read it when I share the slides in the group. And then in the court of Dhritarashtra. Also Krishna showed the universal form from the Mahabharata. Okay, so this you read in detail when I share the slides.
इहैकस्थं जगत्कृत्स्नं पश्याद्य सचराचरं मम देहे गुडाकेश यच्चान्यद्द्रष्टुमिच्छसि.
Translation: O Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see, and whatever you may want to see in the future. Everything, moving and non-moving, is here completely in one place.
So Krishna is saying Ihaika Stham, in this one place, in this Eka Stham, in this one place, Arjuna will be able to see everything that he desires to see, whatever he wants to see now, whatever he may want to see in the future. Every single thing, everything moving or non-moving, everything is in this one place, what Krishna is going to show to Arjuna. So Srila Prabhupada writes in the pulpit that Arjuna could see the entire universe sitting at one place. Even the most advanced scientists cannot see other parts of the universe, which a pure devotee could see so easily. So see, the greatest qualification, it's glorious when one becomes a devotee. Because a devotee, like Arjuna, was able to see in one place what even the most advanced scientists cannot see, even after so many years and years and years of research studies, after investing so many millions of dollars that are funded by the government, the scientists cannot see. But a pure devotee like Arjuna was able to see this because he is qualified on the power of his bhakti. Arjuna could see past, present, and future, all what he wanted to see. Thus, Arjuna will be shown the future destiny of all the relatives and warriors, and thus will be motivated to just become an instrument. So this we will see as we proceed. Even when Krishna is in the universe is still in him. This is a very nice article that is written by Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. And this also you can read when I share the slides in the group. Let's go to 8.
न तु मां शक्यते द्रष्टुम् अनेनैव स्वचक्षुषा दिव्यं ददामि ते चक्षुः पश्य मे योगमैश्वरम्.
Translation: But you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore, I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence.
So Krishna is saying that you cannot see me with the present eyes. So therefore, I'm going to give you divine eyes. Arjuna with his present eyes was able to see Krishna in his two-handed form. He was able to see Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, isn't it? But now, see, Arjuna is in the Sakhya Ras with Krishna. Arjuna is sharing the friendship. He's in the Sakhya Ras with Krishna. And therefore, Arjuna cannot see that terrible universal form that Krishna is going to show. So Krishna is saying that I have to give you another set of eyes. I will give you divine eyes. And with that, you can see this universal form. So for Arjuna, it's a downgrade. He's getting a downgrade now by having to see this universal form. So he's saying, behold my mystic opulence, behold my Yogam Aishwaryam, inconceivable mystic power. So this we already answered. For Arjuna, getting Divya Chakshu is an upgrade or a downgrade. For him, it's a downgrade. So here you see, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur poses and then answers the following question. Why did Arjuna need Krishna's gift of divine eyes to see the universal form when he was already so qualified that he was able to see Krishna's supreme form, his two-armed form? Divya Chakshu refers to the vision of a demigod who, although having devotion, possesses material desires. It is divine because it is far above the vision of an ordinary human, although it cannot compare with the truly divine, love-saturated vision possessed by a pure devotee. Without Divya vision, an exalted devotee such as Arjuna would have remained uninterested in the Lord's universal form. His consciousness was already always focused on Krishna in his two-handed form. Yashoda Devi, for example, while testing whether or not Krishna had eaten dirt, showed no interest whatsoever in Krishna's universal form. The universal form revealed to Yashoda did not contain the ghastly, destructive Kala Rupa aspects that Arjuna will later see. So for Arjuna, it's a downgrade. So what is the one aspect that this particular universal form that Krishna showed to Arjuna has that was not there in the previous universal forms that Krishna displayed? What's that? Kala Rupa, no? Kala Rupa. So the destructive, the ghastly Kala Rupa feature that was not displayed by Krishna in the previous universal forms. That is being displayed only here in this particular universal form. And this is the reason why Krishna said that this form has never been seen and has never been heard of before. That those details are there as we proceed. The Lord gave Arjuna the necessary power to see his universal form because he knew that Arjuna did not particularly want to see it. So a devotee is not interested in seeing this universal form. A pure devotee does not like to see Krishna in any form except his form with two hands. A devotee must see his universal form by his grace, not with the mind, but with spiritual eyes. To see the universal form of Krishna, Arjuna is told not to change his mind, but to change his vision. So Krishna doesn't want Arjuna to change his mind, no, because he's already a pure devotee. Just change your vision. The universal form of Krishna is not very important. Yet, because Arjuna wanted to see it, the Lord gives him the particular vision required to see that universal form. Srila Prabhupada explains this in the purport. The playmates of Krishna, the friends of Krishna, and the parents of Krishna never want Krishna to show his opulences. They are so immersed in pure love that they do not even know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In their loving exchange, they forget that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the boys who play with Krishna are all highly pious souls, and after many, many births, they are able to play with Krishna. Such boys do not know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They take him as a personal friend. So all these friends who are playing with Krishna, they are not ordinary souls. No, they are all pure devotees. That's why they are able to play with Krishna and Vrindavan. So the Gopas, the Gopis, the Vrajvasis, all those who participated in the passings of Krishna, they are all pure devotees. That's why they are able to enjoy loving transcendental exchange with Krishna. Yeah, Lavina, you have raised your hand.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to know why was Arjuna, as you said, that degraded here?
No, he is getting a downgrade because he is now seeing us when Arjuna is seeing Krishna now in the two-handed form, personal form. That two-handed form of Krishna is it's in that form that he's originally residing in Goloka. That is his original form. So he is able to see Krishna in the two-handed form, which is the topmost. Now to see the universal form is a downgrade because that is not the form that with which a devotee can have a loving exchange. For example, when Krishna was in the two-handed form, Arjuna was able to embrace Krishna. No, many times he embraced Krishna. But is it possible for Arjuna to embrace the universal form?
No.
He cannot embrace, no? So that loving pastimes, that loving intimacy, that love is not possible in the universal form. That is possible only in the two-handed form, which Arjuna was able to share with Krishna. For therefore, seeing that universal form for him is a downgrade.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sukadeva Goswami says in the Srimad Bhagavatam, here is the Supreme Person who is considered the impersonal Brahman by great sages, the Supreme Personality of Godhead by devotees, and a product of material nature by ordinary men. Now these boys who have performed many pious activities in their past lives are playing with that Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here is a description of how the Gopas who are playing with Krishna and Vrindavan, how they are actually those personalities who have performed many pious activities in a past life, because of which they are playing like a friend with Krishna and Vrindavan. It's not by chance that they happen to appear in Vrindavan. It's not by chance. They did a lot of pious activities, and therefore now they are given this facility. Devotees who are correctly situated in a transcendental relationship with Krishna are attracted by loving features, not by a godless display of opulence. See, Srila Prabhupada so wonderfully he writes in the purport that the devotees are not attracted by a godless display of opulence. They are attracted by the loving features of Krishna. Therefore, the devotees are not interested in the universal form. Now we come to section 3, Sanjaya's description of Arjuna's vision. Let's hear the shloka.
Sanjay uvacha evamuktva tato rajan mahayogeshwaro harihi darshayamasa parthaya paramam rupamaishwaram.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't change the slide. Translation?
Translation. Sanjaya said, O king, having spoken thus, the supreme lord of all mystic power, the personality of Godhead, displayed his universal form to Arjuna.
So Sanjaya now makes his appearance again in the Bhagavad Gita. He made his appearance in the first two chapters, no? In the first two chapters of Bhagavad Gita, he spoke. And now this is the only time in the middle of the Gita when Sanjaya speaks. And then again, he speaks in the last chapter, in the 18th chapter. So Sanjaya is making his reappearance here. And he's saying, O king. Who is this king here?
Dhritarashtra.
Dhritarashtra. So what is he saying? Having spoken thus, the supreme lord of all mystic power displayed his universal form to Arjuna. By what name is Sanjay referring to Krishna here?
Yogeshwara.
Yogeshwara? Are you sure?
Mahayogeshwara.
Mahayogeshwara, yes, Mahayogeshwara. Arjuna referred to Krishna as Yogeshwara previously, we saw that. Now Sanjaya is referring to Krishna as Mahayogeshwara. So Sanjaya wants to focus, no, he wants to focus more on the point that Krishna is Mahayogeshwar. He is the supreme lord of all mystic power. So he's trying to reiterate this to Dhritarashtra, that Krishna is not an ordinary personality, no, he is Mahayogeshwar. So as Mahayogeshwar, now he has displayed his universal form.
Anekavaktranayanam anekadbhutadarshanam anekadivyabharanam divyanekodhyatayudham divyamalyambaradharam divyagandhanulepanam sarvascharyamayam devam anantam vishwatomukham.
No importa, le llevo
Translation.
la cama de Krishna. Sí, no se preocupe.
¿Cuánto camas?
Yeah, now translation, please.
Translation. Arjuna saw in that universal form unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. The form was decorated with many celestial ornaments and bore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine scents were smeared over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, all expanding.
So see the word aneka. Aneka is used thrice in this verse. No? Aneka. So there are so many things that are unlimited. Arjuna saw in that universal form. So this is Sanjaya's description of what Sanjaya is saying. So Sanjaya is describing to Dhritarashtra what Arjuna saw. Arjuna saw that universal form. Unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. Aneka Vaktra, Nayanam, Aneka Adbhuta Darshanam, Aneka Divya Bharanam. Then the form was decorated with many celestial ornaments and bore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garments and garlands, and many divine scents were smeared all over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, and all expanding. See, Sarva Ashcharya. He's saying Sarva Ashcharya. Everything, Sarva, everything was Ashcharya. Everything was very wonderful. Everything was shining, Devam, shining, Anantam, unlimited. And Vishwatomukham, all pervading. So all pervading means it is there everywhere in the universe. No part of the universe can exist without the existence of Krishna. So this is how Sanjay is describing it to Dhritarashtra. Yeah, you raised your hand, Kirtilaka?
Mataji, so Sanjay was able to see the universal form.
Yes, he also had special vision by his guru.
And in the battlefield, everyone were seeing this universal form?
No, not everyone in the battlefield was able to see the universal form.
So only Sanjay and Arjuna.
Sanjaya and Arjuna, and it is described that some of the residents of the higher planetary systems were able to see.
Okay.
But not on the battlefield. Okay.
Because during battlefield, everything was freezed for that moment when the Krishna was telling the Gita, right? Everything was.
When you say everything means?
Everything means everybody, whoever was in the battlefield, it was like freezed. It was nothing moving. Nobody can hear, nothing happening.
Yeah, so I have also heard like that, but I'm yet to come across a Shastric evidence for the same.
It is
So
like time was
I
stopped.
cannot confirm either way.
Yeah, okay, Mataji. Thank you.
Okay. 12.
दिवि सूर्यसहस्रस्य भवेद्युगपदुत्थिता यदि भासदृशी सा स्यात् भासस्तस्य महात्मनः.
Translation: If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form.
So Sanjay continues to describe, and he's now giving an example so that we can at least try to understand what was it that Krishna displayed. No, it's impossible to describe the universal form. So Sanjay is giving an example. So what is the example that Sanjay is giving here? He's saying if hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once, no, so simultaneous, so one sun itself is illuminating the whole. At least our planet. In the lower planetary systems of the universe, it is said that there is darkness. No, at least the higher planetary systems, and the earth is illuminated by one sun. So imagine if hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky. That radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. So even those hundreds of thousands of suns might resemble. So the effulgence of that universal form is so much that it is like the rising of hundreds and thousands of suns. So here Sanjay is giving an example so that we can try to understand what is it that Arjuna is seeing. See, this universal form is a very, very unique, very, very special vision. And it's only in the Bhagavad Gita that there is this kind of a description. Only in our Shastra, we can see this kind of a description. Nowhere else you will see any description of actually a vision or a vision of the Lord. There is a description of how Prophet Muhammad once ascended to heaven and he saw the Lord, but there is no detail given as to what is it that he exactly saw. What exactly he saw, that description is not there. So this description that we see here is very, very unique and special that you will not find in other places. 13.
तत्रैकस्थं जगत्कृत्स्नं प्रविभक्तमनेकधा अपश्यद्देवदेवस्य शरीरे पाण्डवस्तदा.
Translation. At that time, Arjuna could see in the universal form of the Lord the unlimited expansions of the universe situated in one place, although divided into many, many thousands.
So Arjuna could see in the universal form of the Lord the unlimited expansions of the universe situated in one place. So again, where is that word? Yeah, Eka Stham. In one place, Arjuna was seeing the unlimited expansions of the universe, although divided into many, many thousands. So Arjuna was not only seeing this universe, he was seeing all the other universes of different sizes, of different compositions. Everything Arjuna was able to see in that universal form. So here you can see very nice painting of the universal form. So here you can see Krishna is here on the chariot, Arjuna is here, and this is the vision. Wherever Arjuna was seeing, he was only seeing the universal form. He was not able to see the sky at all. Let's go to 14.
ततः स विस्मयाविष्टो हृष्टरोमा धनञ्जयः प्रणम्य शिरसा देवं कृताञ्जलिरभाषत.
Translation. Then, bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, Arjuna bowed his head to offer obeisances and with folded hands began to pray to the Supreme Lord.
So Arjuna is bewildered and astonished. No, he was so shocked. His hair is standing on end. So you see his reaction, Arjuna's reaction is both emotional as well as physical. He's bewildered and astonished. So emotionally he's affected, and also physically he's affected. His hair is standing on end. See, if it was for any other ordinary person, if he would have seen this if he would have seen this universal form, he would have run away immediately from the battlefield. It is such a terrible form to see. But Arjuna, he bowed his head down and he offers obeisances with folded hands. And then he begins to offer prayers to the Lord. So you can see actually now there is a change of rasa. The rasa that Arjuna shared with Krishna before was that of friendship, that was that of Sakhya ras. But now he is beginning to offer obeisances, and with folded hands he is praying to the Lord. So there is a change of rasa. Now Arjuna is becoming more reverential. No, now there is more formality in the relationship. Previously they were friends. One friend doesn't offer obeisances to the other friend, isn't it? They are just friends, sakhas. But now there is a change of rasa. He is beginning to offer prayers to the Lord. So change of rasa from friendship to wonder. There are 12 varieties. There are 5 principal, and in total there are 12 varieties of rasa. So Arjuna's rasa or mellow, or the relationship that he shares with Krishna, is changing from friendship to wonder. So now we come to the next section. We see Arjuna's description of the universal form.
अर्जुन उवाच पश्यामि देवांस्तव देवदेहे सर्वांस्तथा भूतविशेषसङ्घान् ब्रह्माणमीशं कमलासनस्थं ऋषींश्च सर्वानुरगांश्च दिव्यान्.
Translation. Arjuna said, My dear Lord Krishna, I see assembled in your body all the demigods and various other living entities. I see Brahma sitting on the lotus flower, as well as Lord Shiva and all the sages and divine serpents.
So Arjuna says, my dear Lord Krishna, what am I seeing? I am seeing in your body all the demigods and various other living entities. So he's seeing all the devatas in that universal form of Krishna. And then he confirms that he's seeing Brahma sitting on the lotus flower. He sees Lord Shiva and as well as all the sages and divine serpents. So actually, Arjuna is confirming that he's seeing the universe from top to bottom. Because what is at the topmost part of the universe? The highest planet in the universe is
Brahmaloka.
Brahmaloka. So he's seeing the top of the universe. He's seeing Brahma sitting on the lotus flower. Then he says that I'm also seeing Lord Shiva, who's in between the material and the spiritual worlds. And he says he's seeing the sages. So the sages are there in the higher planetary systems. And then says, I see the divine serpents. So the whole universe is on the hood of
Sheshnag.
Sheshnag, isn't it? So he's saying that I can see the divine serpents because all these universes are on the hood of Ananta Shesh. So the Ananta Shesha, he's holding all the universes on his hood, and it described that the weight of all the universes on his head is like the weight of a mustard seed. So that's how heavy Ananta Shesha feels the universes to be. So he's saying, so Arjuna is saying that I can see Brahma, I can see Shiva, I can see the sages, and I can see the divine serpent. So he's saying that I can see the top to bottom of the universe. So here you have a photo of the 14 planetary systems. Let's go to 16.
अनेकबाहूदरवक्त्रनेत्रं पश्यामि त्वां सर्वतोऽनन्तरूपं नान्तं न मध्यं न पुनस्तवादिं पश्यामि विश्वेश्वर विश्वरूप.
Translation. O Lord of the universe, O universal form, I see in your body many, many arms, bellies, mouths, and eyes, expanded everywhere without limit. I see in you no end, no middle, and no beginning.
Aneka Bahudara. He's seeing in that universal form many bahus, many arms, many vaktra, many mouths, many netra, many eyes. So Arjuna is saying, I see in the universal form many, many arms, bellies, mouths, and eyes expanded everywhere without limit. Ananta Rupam, he's saying, Ananta Sarvato Ananta Rupam, without any limit. Then he's saying, I see in you no end, no middle, and no beginning. So just imagine, he's unlimited. Wherever Arjuna is seeing in any direction, he's seeing the universal form. He does not know where that form starts, what is the middle of that form, what is the end of that form. He says, I see. Nantam, so no anta, he doesn't see any end. Na madhyam, he doesn't see any middle. Na punas tavadim, he doesn't see any beginning also. So he's saying that I do not see any end or middle or beginning in that universal form.
किरीटिनं गदिनं चक्रिणं च तेजोराशिं सर्वतो दीप्तिमन्तं पश्यामि त्वां दुर्निरीक्षं समन्तात् दीप्तानलार्कद्युतिमप्रमेयम्.
Translation. Your form is difficult to see because of its glaring effulgence, spreading on all sides like blazing fire or the immeasurable radiance of the sun. Yet I see this glowing form everywhere, adorned with various crowns, clubs, and discs.
So Kiritinam, Gadinam, Chakrinam. So he's seeing in that universal form various crowns, clubs, and discs. And then he says that tejo, that effulgence, that effulgence which is coming from all the sides. Sarvato, he says sarvato means from all the sides. So this tejo, this effulgence that is coming from all the sides is very difficult to see. Arjuna is saying, I'm not able to see. He says, dur nirikshyam. It is very, very difficult to see, he's saying. And he is giving an example. He's saying that this effulgence is like the blazing fire or the immeasurable radiance of the sun. So why it's so difficult to see? Arjuna is saying it's because it's like the blazing fire and it is like the immeasurable, aprameyam. You cannot even measure. So it is like the immeasurable radiance of the sun. So Arjuna is saying that your form is very, very difficult to see. Very difficult to see. 18.
त्वमक्षरं परमं वेदितव्यं त्वमस्य विश्वस्य परं निधानम् त्वमव्ययः शाश्वतधर्मगोप्ता सनातनस्त्वं पुरुषो मतो मे.
Translation. You are the supreme primal objective. You are the ultimate resting place of all this universe. You are inexhaustible and you are the oldest. You are the maintainer of the eternal religion, the personality of Godhead. This is my opinion.
So here Arjuna is trying to, he is describing the immeasurable. Previously, he said that you are immeasurable. So now he's describing that immeasurable. So he's saying that you are the supreme primal objective. You are the ultimate resting place of all this universe. You are inexhaustible and you are the oldest. You are the maintainer of eternal religion, the personality of Godhead. Then he says that this is my opinion, mata me. He says mato me. So this is my opinion. Arjuna is saying, this is my opinion about you. After he sees his universal form, this is what Arjuna's realizations are about the Supreme Lord.
अनादिमध्यान्तमनन्तवीर्यम् अनन्तबाहुं शशिसूर्यनेत्रम् पश्यामि त्वां दीप्तहुताशवक्त्रं स्वतेजसा विश्वमिदं तपन्तम्.
Translation. You are without origin, middle, or end. Your glory is unlimited. You have numberless arms, and the sun and moon are your eyes. I see you with blazing fire coming forth from your mouth, burning this entire universe by your own radiance.
So again, Arjuna says, Anadi, Madhya, Antam. You don't have any beginning, there is no middle, and there is no end. He says that your glories are Ananta, Ananta Viram, your glories are unlimited. So then he says that you have numberless arms, and then he says that the sun and moon are your eyes. So this is Arjuna's realization that the sun and the moon are your eyes. And what is he seeing? He's seeing blazing fire coming forth from the mouth of Krishna. So actually this verse marks the beginning of the description of the Kala Rupa of Krishna, the Kala Rupa which was not displayed in the previous universal forms. So here Arjuna begins his description of the Kala Rupa, and it goes on till verse number 31. So he sees blazing fire coming forth from the mouth, burning this entire universe by your own radiance. So when Yashoda saw the universal form and when Krishna showed the universal form in the court of Dhritarashtra, they did not see any fire coming from the mouth of Krishna. But here in this universal form, Krishna is displaying that.
द्यावा पृथिव्योरिदमन्तरं हि व्याप्तं त्वयैकेन दिशश्च सर्वाः दृष्ट्वाद्भुतं रूपमुग्रं तवेदं लोकत्रयं प्रव्यथितं महात्मन्.
Translation. Although you are one, you spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space between. O Great One, seeing this wondrous and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed.
So by seeing this terrible form, see, there are contrasting emotions here. It's wonderful and also terrible for Arjuna. It's wonderful because he's seeing this wonderful form, but it is terrible also because Arjuna is seeing the Kala Rupa. Arjuna has not seen the Kala Rupa of Arjuna. He was with Krishna as a friend. Imagine suddenly your friend is showing that fire is emanating from his mouth. So here for Arjuna, it's terrible also. It's wonderful. At the same time, it is terrible. So he's saying that this form is wonderful and it is terrible. But by seeing this, all the planetary systems are disturbed. So seeing this, so here is evidence that the members of the other planetary system were able to see this universal form. Now, that's why Arjuna is saying, oh great one, seeing this wonderful and terrible form, all the planetary systems are disturbed. So he says that you are one and you are spread throughout the sky and all the planets and all the space between. So there is no place that can exist independent of Krishna. 21.
अमीहि त्वां सुरसङ्घा विशन्ति केचिद्भीताः प्राञ्जलयो गृह्णन्ति स्वस्तीत्युक्त्वा महर्षि सिद्धसङ्घाः स्तुवन्ति त्वां स्तुतिभिः पुष्कलाभिः.
Translation: all the hosts of demigods are surrendering before you and entering into you. Some of them, very much afraid, are offering prayers with folded hands. Hosts of great sages and perfected beings, crying all peace, are praying to you by singing the Vedic hymns.
All the hosts of demigods are surrendering before you. So they have seen this universal form, and see, he uses the word Sura Sangha. Sura Sangha means the hosts of the demigods. They're all surrendering before you and entering into you. Some of them are very much afraid. So the demigods, even the devatas, are afraid by seeing this universal form. So they are all offering prayers with folded hands. Not only are the devatas offering prayers, even the hosts of great sages and perfected beings, they are all crying, all peace. They're all praying to you by singing the Vedic hymns. So the devatas, as well as the great sages and perfected beings, they are all afraid after seeing this universal form. So it's such a terrible form to see. It's so terrible to see Krishna emanating fire, and to see the Kala Rupa of Krishna especially is something that is causing fear in Arjuna, as well as the devatas, as well as the sages and perfected beings.
रुद्रादित्या वसवो ये च साध्या विश्वेश्विनौ मरुतश्चोष्मपाश्च गन्धर्वयक्षासुरसिद्धसङ्घा वीक्षन्ते त्वां विस्मिताश्चैव सर्वे.
Translation: all the various manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasus, the Sadhyas, and Vishvedevas, the two Ashvis, the Maruts, the forefathers, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, the Asuras, and the perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder.
So who are these people who are offering prayer? Like previously, Arjuna said that the Suragana and the perfected beings and the sages are offering prayers. Now Arjuna is taking a close look and he's describing who exactly he is seeing. So who exactly he is seeing? He's seeing various manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasus, we have already described, the Sadhyas. Sadhyas are the departed ancestors. Then Vishvedevas, all the devatas put together they are referred to as Vishvedevas. Then he's talking about the two Ashwini Kumars, the Maruts are the wind gods, the forefathers, the Gandharvas. Gandharvas, we know, are the musicians of the higher planetary systems. The Yakshas and the Asuras and the perfected beings are all beholding you in wonder.
रूपं महत्ते बहुवक्त्रनेत्रं महाबाहो बहुबाहुरुपादं बहुदरं बहुदंष्ट्राकरालं दृष्ट्वा लोकाः प्रव्यथितास्तथाहम्.
Translation: O mighty armed one, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed at seeing your great form with its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, and bellies, and your many terrible teeth. And as they are disturbed, so am I.
So see the effect of the universal form on Arjuna. So he's saying that after seeing these many arms, thighs, legs, bellies, faces, eyes, etc., all the planets with their demigods are disturbed. And so am I. So even Arjuna now is very disturbed. No, he's very disturbed by seeing this universal form. So his emotions are now changing to fear. Previously, it was wonderful, but now it is changing to fear. He's feeling fearful now.
नभस्पृशं दीप्तमनेकवर्णं व्यात्ताननं दीप्तविशालनेत्रम् दृष्ट्वा हि तां प्रव्यथितान्तरात्मा धृतिं न विन्दामि शमं च विष्णो.
Translation. O all-pervading Vishnu, seeing you with your many radiant colors touching the sky, your gaping mouths, and your great glowing eyes, my mind is perturbed by fear. I can no longer maintain my steadiness or equilibrium of mind.
By what name is Arjuna referring to Krishna here?
Vishnu?
Vishnu. So it's a more formal way of referring to Krishna, no? Because in Vaikuntha, the Lord is residing in the four-handed Narayan form or Vishnu form. So here he is referring to him as Vishnu. When he started this chapter, Arjuna referred to Krishna as Kamala Patraksha, no, lotus-eyed one. Now he's saying that you are all-pervading Vishnu. He's saying Deepta Vishala Netram. What does Deepta Vishala Netram mean? Now the netra, the eyes are how?
Big and glowing.
Very big and glowing. So now no more it is Kamala Patraksha. Now no more it is lotus-eyed one. No, now he's saying that the eyes are Deepta and Vishala. They are glowing and they are very, very big. So anyway, Arjuna says, O all-pervading Vishnu, seeing you with your many radiant colors touching the sky. So Krishna's universal form is touching the sky. Your gaping mouths and your great glowing eyes. My mind is perturbed by fear. He's feeling so much fear. Arjuna is saying, I can no longer maintain my steadiness or equilibrium of the mind. So even mentally, Arjuna is beginning to lose his equilibrium. He cannot maintain his steadiness and equilibrium of the mind after seeing this universal form. He is now perturbed by fear, Arjuna is saying.
दंष्ट्राकरालानि च ते मुखानि दृष्ट्वैव कालानलसन्निभानि दिशो न जाने न लभे च शर्म प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास.
Translation. O Lord of Lords, O refuge of the worlds, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance, seeing thus your blazing death-like faces and awful teeth. In all directions, I am bewildered.
So here Krishna is being referred to by the names
Devesha and Jagat Nivasa.
Yes, Devesha and Jagannivasa. Devesha, Lord of the Lords. Clearly, Arjuna is seeing how the other devatas are offering prayers to this universal form. No, so he is saying that yes, you are the Lord of all the lords, because he is seeing all the lords, all the devatas are offering prayers to Krishna. And then he says you are also Jagat Nivasa, or he's the refuge of the worlds. So he's saying that please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance, seeing your blazing death-like faces and awful teeth. Why awful teeth? What is happening in that teeth? Why does he say the teeth are awful? What does Arjuna see?
Crushing
Crushing whom?
all warriors.
Ah, yes. Actually, Arjuna was seeing all the warriors entering into Krishna's mouth and they're all getting crushed. So there is blood. So there is death, there is blood, and he's seeing all these warriors on the battlefield are being crushed in that universal form. So this is the Kala Rupa of Krishna. So that's why he's using this, he's saying that the teeth are awful teeth, death-like faces and awful teeth. In all directions, Arjuna is saying that I'm bewildered, because wherever he cannot see anything other than the universal form. Okay, we'll stop here. We'll continue the next class if Krishna so sanctions. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Do we have any questions or comments? Kirtilata, you have your hand raised.
Yes, Mataji, in the 19th verse, it was saying the fire coming out of the Lord's mouth, it is burning the universe. It was not telling that it is eliminating the universe. It is burning. So what does it mean?
Burning this entire universe by our own radiance. So the radiance is there, and burning in the sense that the heat, they can feel the heat. It was getting scorched up. Not literally burning, but it was getting scorched up because of the high temperatures.
Okay, and what does this universal form indicate? That Lord is pervading everywhere and Lord is all powerful?
Yes, that the Lord pervades everywhere. It shows the potency and the scope of Krishna. No, what is his scope? How far can his potency, how far is his reach? So Krishna's reach is everywhere in the universe. So it shows the potency and the scope of Krishna, how he can pervade into every single thing in the universe.
And we don't have vision to see Krishna as everywhere, pervading.
Yes.
So how we can apply from these verses that to see Krishna, like his hands, legs, eyes are everywhere spread?
Yeah, so when we read about, the more we read about the opulences of Krishna, we discussed how in the previous chapter also, how Krishna mentions the different objects, groups of people and things, and then he chooses the more prominent one and he says that opulence represents my opulence. So for example, every time you drink water, you can remember that Krishna has the taste in water. Every time you see birds, animals, you see the sun, you see the moon, you see elephant, all that, then you remember that verse. Or Krishna says that amongst the elephants, I am Airavat. Amongst the horses, I am Ucheshwara. No, and then he says that of all the stars, I am the moon. He says of all the things that are glowing in the sky, I am the sun. So like that, we meditate on what Krishna has spoken, and that way we can remember Krishna and we can apply this. It's a lifetime thing. Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji, another word for wonder is fear.
Not necessarily you can replace the word fear in every sentence where you use the word wonderful. Something can be wonderful, but may not be necessarily fearful.
Here it says that Arjun is in wonder. So does that mean he's in fear?
He is also in fear and he's also wonderstruck. See, initially when Krishna shows the universal form, what Arjuna is describing, that he is wonderstruck. He is wonderstruck by seeing so many bellies and so many mouths and so many arms and all those things. But then he's also fearful when he sees the Kala Rupa. So it's both emotions are there.
So wonderstruck means that he no longer wants to see the roop.
Yeah, he no longer wants to see that roop. So therefore, yeah, wonderstruck may not necessarily mean that. Wonderstruck means yes, it is so wonderful. But not everything that is wonderful is also, not everything wonderful will instill fear and vice versa. So yes, Arjuna does say later in the next class, we will see that I don't want to see this form anymore. So he requests Krishna to come back to his original form.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
You're welcome. Kirtilata, you have another question or you just didn't put your hand down?
Mataji, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
In the Kala Rupa, the Lord is already like he's chewing in the teeth and the blood is oozing, no? So how can we
Yes.
understand how Krishna forgives and also this Kala Rupa, because Krishna also forgives, but in the battlefield already he has chosen to kill everyone. So how we can understand this?
So Krishna if I want to rephrase it, I would say Krishna is all merciful, no? So even when Krishna kills, it is for the good of the person. Even when he kills, the person is getting benefited. So although, yes, the warriors are entering into the mouth of Krishna and they are getting crushed in the teeth and there is blood, still they are getting benefited because all the warriors on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, they all attain moksha. So there is nothing inauspicious when it comes to Krishna. Everything is all auspicious. Krishna will forgive when you are asking for forgiveness. When you are surrendered to the Lord, then He forgives everything. But if one is not surrendered, if one is not asking for forgiveness, how will Krishna give you something that you're not asking for it? Because remember, again, Krishna always allows you to use your free will. So He gave the opportunity to Duryodhan and all those who were on the opposite side that, okay, you surrender. No, he just said give 5 villages and there would be no war. There would be no death also if there was no war. But here Krishna is because they are not surrendering to Krishna, they have to be under the law of karma. If you are not in Krishna consciousness, you are in Maya consciousness. So when you're in Maya consciousness, one is under the law of karma. And therefore, Duryodhan and all those who supported Duryodhan had to meet death because they were under the law of karma. They never surrendered to Krishna. But because Krishna is involved there, still they were benefited. So there is no inauspiciousness where Krishna is present.
Thank
See,
you,
I
Mataji.
was reading the other day how when Krishna showed the universal form, Duryodhan was able to see. Now, Duryodhan was not given any special vision. No, Duryodhan was able to see Krishna in that universal form without any special vision, even though he is not a devotee of the Lord, even though he is not surrendered like Arjuna. He is not qualified like Arjuna. But still, Krishna allowed Duryodhan to see that universal form. Why? Out of his mercy for Duryodhan, so that he can see the universal form and correct himself. At least now you correct yourself. See what is it that you're going to face on the opposite side. That person is not an ordinary person. So therefore, Krishna allowed Duryodhan to see that, even though he did not have any special vision. And that was the only time when Duryodhan, I'm sorry, what's his name? Dhritarashtra. That was the only time that Dhritarashtra was actually able to see in his entire lifetime. That universal form, Krishna gave the eyes to Dhritarashtra so that even Dhritarashtra could see that universal form. The only time that Dhritarashtra saw in his entire life was at that time when Krishna showed the universal form. So he allowed Dhritarashtra also to see that universal form so that Dhritarashtra can correct his son because he is the king. No, he had the power to correct his son and prevent the war from happening. So yes, Krishna was very merciful. He was ready to forgive. But then if they are not ready to surrender, they are not ready to use their free will in the appropriate way, then what can be done? Then they are under the law of karma. But still, Krishna gave them liberation because he was personally present on the battlefield. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Mataji, so 3 people saw his universal form, Arjun and Sanjay and the Celestic people.
The residents of the other planetary systems could also see the universal form because this is the reason why Arjuna says that the people from the other planetary systems, they saw and they were fearful and they began to offer prayers.
So they are total in 3?
No, there are many more than 3 because the residents of the other planetary systems could also see the universal form.
I get that part, but like total the people who saw would be like including those 2 and then the third all the planetary systems. So that's 3.
No, if you have to say 3, then it's not 3, it's many more.
Okay. So and then the other question was you said that Dijastra saw the universal form when he came to the court as a dut, and so when he saw it, he didn't get intelligence. His ignorance didn't remove.
No, that's the problem with Moodas, no? That's the problem with Moodas. They do not want to
Would that
see it though it is shown.
be Rajogun or Tamogun?
Generally, it's Tamoguna. Tamoguna is connected to ignorance, mode of ignorance. And passion. You can also say he had a lot of passion and also ignorance. Duryodhan was very passionate about the kingdom. He wanted the kingdom. He was very greedy. And at the same time, he was also in the mode of ignorance. He saw, even after seeing, he thought that Krishna is an ordinary human being. So there you can see that he's displaying his mode of ignorance. See,
Those
one is not necessarily in a particular mode. One can be sometimes in the mode of goodness, sometimes in the mode of passion, sometimes in the mode of ignorance. So it's not necessary that one is always in a particular mode.
those who are studying Bhagavad Gita and trying to learn it, are they like above the modes, or are they still in the modes?
No, that's the whole point. You cannot particularly say that a person who's reading Bhagavad Gita is always in the mode of goodness. Yes, at the time when he's reading the Bhagavad Gita, he's in the mode of goodness. But there may be times when he's in the mode of passion, and there may be times when he's in the mode of ignorance.
So the performance Bhagavad Gita gives is to have a reader or a learner to surrender completely by the universal form and other chapters. So only when they read and they understand this, only then they come out of Rajatamagun.
Yes, it's a lifetime process. That's why the more we read, the more we can rise to the from the lower to the higher modes.
Okay. Okay, Mataji, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Beena Dadlani, you have a question?
Yes. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
That
Krishna.
means the universal form was seen by many, many people around, because even Mata Yashoda saw the universal form, right?
Yes, but the universal form that Yashoda saw was not this Kala Rupa. That was a different universal form.
Okay, so that means the Kala Rupa, how many people saw actually? One
Yeah,
was
so
Sanjaya.
Kala Rupa, Arjuna has seen. Kala Rupa was seen by Sanjaya and he describes it to Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra has seen it through the eyes of Sanjaya. But the residents of the higher planetary systems or other planetary systems, not higher, it says other planetary systems. So Lord Brahma has seen, all the Devatas have seen, the Adityas, the Vasus, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, the Asuras, all these names Arjuna mentions, all of them have seen the universal form. This is the reason why they are afraid and they are offering prayers. So several of them have seen.
Okay, so Mata Yashoda did not see the fearless one, no, the fearful one.
Yes. Yeah, the Kala Rupa was not seen by Yashoda.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there no difference in the so
Ranjit,
she
your voice
saw
is breaking.
Hare Krishna?
Hare
Can you hear
Krishna.
me?
Yes.
The Mata Yashoda, she saw the Krishna's mouth. She saw the universe, or she saw the universal form?
That what she saw is described as the universal form.
Okay, I thought it is a universe she saw in the mouth.
She saw the whole cosmic manifestation. She saw the universes, and that is called as a universal form. She saw everything that exists in the universe,
Yeah.
except the Kala Rupa.
Yeah. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Durga Prasad.
I have a couple of questions. First, we'll go this Kala Rupa you are telling now, other demigods also they have seen higher planetary, but Arjuna is seeing only everywhere universal form only. Inside, or how to see this? He will see everywhere universal form only. How he is seeing other higher planetary
In
demigods?
that universal
They
form,
are
he's seeing all the planetary systems. In that universal form, he's seeing all the devatas. He's seeing all the residents of
upgrading.
the other planetary systems. And he's
So
seeing in that
inside.
universal form, they're offering prayers. Everything he can see in that.
So inside, like that we have to see.
Yes.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you.
It's inconceivable.
Yeah. Okay. Mataji, that so I have one question that what is it? Falasruti we are reading na. So which age he is telling Shiva what time he told, and their pastimes are there, right? Those pastimes in which yuga or which age it is happened.
Yeah, so this is from a very, very distant past. There is no description of when exactly, in which yuga or in which day of Brahma these pastimes happened. That description is not given in the Gita Mahatmya.
Okay. Okay, and that universal form, no, not universal form, that higher planetary systems map is there, na? In that Bhurloka and Bhuvarloka, above Bhurloka, Rakshasa are there. Are there in higher planetary system?
What is there in higher planetary system? I didn't get it.
No, that planetary system is there, na? Bhurloka is at middle. Then going higher
Yes.
planets, going down is negative planets. So above
Yes.
Bhurloka is there. That is there Rakshasas reside. But how come that is above Bhurloka, Rakshasa there in higher planetary?
Oh, yes, because they have some pious credits as well. They are not completely evil. They have some pious credits as well. Because remember, if Rakshasa and ghosts, they can also have some punya karmas. They can also perform some austerities. Like if Ravan was so expert in doing so much of tapasya. So they have some punya karmas. That's why they are in a higher planetary system for now.
Rather than Earth, they are higher.
Yes, they have more punya karmas. Therefore, they are in the higher planetary system. Yes. They have some punya credits.
Okay, Mataji.
What
Okay.
else?
I thought it was something, but I forgot. Okay, I'll remember. I'll ask.
Okay. Anything else?
This Mataji would take how many sections? Like we did some of it today, and we will not be able to finish this next week.
I calculate that in 2 more classes, we will be able to finish chapter 11.
Okay, total 3. Okay.
If Krishna so sanctions, of course. Anything else?
Yes, Hare Krishna, Salim.
Hare Krishna.
I have a question. In the
Yes.
whole of Bhagavad Gita, the name of Srimati Radharani is not mentioned, right?
No.
And the reason for it?
Well, Srimati Radharani does not appear in the Bhagavad Gita. She is not there in Kurukshetra. She is not there in the Mahabharata. There is no context.
No pastimes, nothing related to her.
No, because Srimati Radharani is there in Vrindavan. She is there in the pastimes with Krishna and Vrindavan. This is when Krishna is a king and he's the king of Dwarka. He's with 16,108 wives and the war situation. So there Srimati
Even,
Radharani does not make her appearance.
even Krishna's pastimes with his Gopa friends are mentioned, right? So gopis
So
are
Krishna's
mentioned.
pastimes with Gopa friends are not mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita as such. This we are just describing. We just brought it in here because to explain how Arjuna is a pure devotee and how the devotees and pure devotees of Krishna are not interested in seeing the universal form. It's not that they make an appearance in this war or in the Bhagavad Gita.
Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
You're welcome.
Mataji,
Okay, so today, yes.
one more question. That pastimes, every pastime they are going to Vaikuntha, right? Generally, that Gita Mahatmya, while you are describing story, why there is no concept? They are not describing anywhere like Goloka Vrindavan. They are going to Vaikuntha always.
Yeah, so this question you have to redirect to Lord Shiva. Because he describes, see, we are only repeating what Lord Shiva is saying in the Gita Mahatmya. Why he is not telling Goloka? Sometimes, if I have to understand, the word Vaikuntha and Goloka are used interchangeably. If you see across Srila Prabhupada's purports also, he may use the term Vaikuntha and Goloka interchangeably, just like how he uses the word Krishna and Vishnu also interchangeably across the purports. So sometimes these words can be used interchangeably, is my understanding. But exactly if I have to find a Shastric reference for it, I don't think I can find it.
Okay, Mataji, thank you. And who are all died in this Kurukshetra, they all go to back to Godhead? Or where they will
Yes.
go?
Yes, they are all going back home, back to Godhead. Exactly where, I don't know, but they all went back home, back to Godhead. They all got moksha.
No, they will go back to Godhead or somewhere. They will get to somewhere higher because they are all not good people, right? Then what is the difference? If they are good or bad, they are going to same destination. Then what?
But
If
they
I am
all
in
got
my way,
moksha.
right way, I will go to at the end of the day. I will go to the same destination. Then I will be wrong.
So that is the causeless mercy of Krishna. Because Krishna was personally present on the battlefield, somehow they were Krishna's personally. See, the whole thing is when we die, we should be able to remember Krishna, isn't it? That's the whole crux, that's your death is the final exam. If at the time of death, somehow we can remember Krishna, we can go back home, back to God. Just like how Ajamila, no, he unknowingly he chanted the name of Narayan, and the Vishnu Dutas immediately came, and he was given a second chance. So Krishna is personally present there on the battlefield, and when at the time of death, Krishna is personally present there. So there is some Krishna consciousness in their mind. He's there on their minds. So therefore, Krishna saw the good, and he ignored the bad, and he took them back home.
Oh, but there should be some difference, right? Ajamala case is different because Ajamala, anyhow, he got second chance, then he purified, he realized he has to realize and went back to Godhead so that he won't come back. But in these cases, they are not purified yet. So they went to Godhead, they just like that, in opposite way only they went, right? So there should be some difference, the devotees and these demons.
There should be some difference, but when Krishna is personally present, Krishna can override the rules of the game. In case of Ajamila, Krishna was not personally present. Here he was there himself, Sakshat. Krishna can override the rules, Durga Prasad.
Yes, Mataji.
The difference is there. It should be there. As you say, it's not fair. But when Krishna is there, who cares for rules and regulations? He's the one who writes the rules. So because he was personally present, all those who fought the war, it's described in the Mahabharata that they all went back home, back to Godhead.
Okay, Mataji.
Okay. So today is Divya's birthday. Is she there? Yeah. Today is Divya's birthday, and so therefore let's chant the Hare Krishna mantra 3 times so that she can be spiritually benefited. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Happy birthday, Divya.
Please share
Thank
when you
you.
Krishna conscious birthday, Mataji.
Thank you, everybody.
Happy birthday, Mataji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sanam Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yesterday was Sri Hare Radha Mataji's birthday also. Yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday, Sri Hari Radha Mataji. Let's chant the Hare Krishna mantra 3 times for her spiritual well-being as well. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Rama, Hare.
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Ram, Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare.
Hare.
Thank you, Mataji. Belated happy birthday, Shri Hare Radha Mataji. Thank you.
Okay, anything else we need to discuss? So today is Ekadasi. I think in India it's tomorrow. And Wednesday is the appearance day of Lord Narasimhadev, the half-man, half-lion incarnation who came from the pillar in order to protect his pure devotee, Prahlad. So try to read the pastimes of Prahlad from the Srimad Bhagavatam. You can go to your Vedaves, go to your Srimad Bhagavatam, the 7th canto. So many chapters are dedicated to Prahlad. It's nice to read the pastimes and participate in the appearance day of Lord Narasimhadev. Try to go to your temple and celebrate in your homes, but you must celebrate the appearance day of the Lord in every possible way that you can. That's very, very important. All right, then on that note, we will end today's session. Thank you all very much for joining. See you all next week if Krishna so sanctions. Vansha kalpataruvyascha kripa sindhu vyayevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagawad Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna everyone.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Mataji, can you share the chapter for 7th canto? Which one we should read?
Okay, I will share it in the group. There are many chapters. I will share the link in the group.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.